Unhelpful Advice with Bobby, Kalila, and 7 inches of Stonestreet.
6 3/4.
6 3/4 for Kalila.
For
For
me,
Kalila.
for
For
me.
Kalila
Yeah.
purposes. I am a 19-year-old girl in Canada, and I have recently been diagnosed with Asperger's. It has been extremely hard to wrap my head around it and to accept. I've always felt different, but now I feel like I have a huge label across my head saying autistic. Having Asperger's helps me realize why I've never been good at making connections to other people. That being said, I have never had any romantic connections just from the lack of social skills and extreme social anxiety. My question is, how should I go about getting out there in the dating world? I feel so behind of all my peers in this aspect and other aspects in life. And when do I start dating? How and when do I go about the subject of my diagnosis? My name is Anna.
How old?
She is 19 years old.
What's Asperger's?
I wasn't aware that Asperger's was still a diagnosis, actually. I thought it was just autism.
Oh, she's
And it's a
autistic.
huge
Spectrum.
spectrum,
Yeah, it's a
right?
huge
Yeah.
spectrum, yeah.
Is that an extreme spectrum?
Yeah, it can go from anything from low function, very functional, which are
Like you.
a little bit, yeah. Are people who are absolutely no communication skills at all. So it's a very
But
wide
she seems
range.
like she's
Of
probably
course,
on
of course, and she's probably very bright.
Yeah.
You know, the other side of the spectrum is obviously the savants who are.
I mean, I think the answer to anybody that's like looking for some sort of romance these days is online dating. I think that really is. There's no stigma to that anymore, and you know, you just got to put yourself out there. You have to make the decision to get yourself out there, and that is the easiest way to get yourself out there.
Yeah.
And I don't think that you should lead with that insecurity either.
No.
It is, you have it, you own it, and you know it
Doesn't define you.
Yeah, it doesn't, and it's not a hindrance either. It can be.
Also, if I met Kalila and she goes, I have Asperger's, I go, what is it? And then she'll tell me. I don't think that it would make me feel weird.
I mean, I have. I sometimes I do think I fall under the spectrum. I
Yeah.
have a lot of like eye tics, and I blink anxiously a lot. I have severe.
Anxiety.
I have weird things about me and tics that.
I mean, the shit that I do, I have tics too, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I got to get going.
That was a good podcast.
So
Yeah.
just
You
to
know?
check.
Yeah. What are your problems?
Okay,
you
what's
know?
the other question?
Okay. So that's what you do, Anna.
I like questions more.
questions are good.
So I'm 17 years old and I have herpes. And I
Oh,
don't know
okay.
how to deal
Next
with it.
question.
Okay.
I
No,
finish that one. I like that one. I
answer
like
it.
that one.
Yeah.
I don't know how to deal with it. Any advice on how to communicate with people that I might be with in the future?
What is
Also-
herpes?
It's a virus that lives either.
I know
up
what it
here or
is.
up here.
I'm pretty sure you're familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please don't say that, because then,
Then she has it.
yeah.
I have a lot.
You know what I always say
What?
to girls?
What?
Can you get more herpes?
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Like-
Yeah. Can you?
I mean, you can have HSV1, which
Yeah.
is like not the very obvious or painful reoccurring ones throughout your whole life. That's
Yeah.
like the ones in your mouth, which you can also get down there. They're not the outbreaks are not as like intense.
But you know they have super AIDS.
But then they have HSV2, which really
You've heard of super AIDS?
super AIDS.
What's super
I've
AIDS?
never heard of that.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
can
a
get
drink.
it.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Super AIDS?
I think I heard it.
Well, HIV.
I did. I think I heard it. Yeah, yeah.
Jesus Christ! But herpes.
You know who
I-
doesn't have super
they
AIDS?
say,
Magic
like,
Johnson.
8 out of 10 people, by the time they're a certain age, probably have the virus inside of them, whether or not it chooses to, show itself.
Make
So-
itself known.
So yeah, so that statistic should
Hello.
make you.
What's your name?
Harmony?
Are you a herpy harmony?
Yes.
Are you Latino?
Yeah.
Yes. On the herpy thing, I mean, transparency is always 100% the best policy in anything you'll ever come along with in your life. The conversation of admittance will be much less difficult than the conversation of what's the word? Guilt.
Yes.
When something was found out. I mean, you just got to start with it, and it's super common. Like it's very common and used protected. You're going to protect yourself. You're 17. Don't know that you should even be doing it yet anyway.
Living an honest lifestyle is always I know a lot of comics that
Have
fuck
herpes.
around.
Really.
They fuck around behind their wives' back or whatever, and I I do say, I go, dude, it's gonna come back.
Catch up.
Yeah, I don't know why you live like that, and a lot of these guys are doing well.
I always say you want to be the train. Excuse me. I always say you want to pull a train. God damn it, I did it again. No. I always say you want to be the engine on the train and not the caboose.
Yeah.
You want to be driving the situation and not being drug along in the wake of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's
a good note to end on. Herpes.
Herpes
I
is
think.
a good note.
Yeah.